So my eating disorder began when I was about 15 years old, and it lasted till I was about 31. So it was 16 years of being a bulimic. First memory that I have was we were taking a family trip to Hawaii, and I was 14 years old. And for some reason I thought, if I lost a few pounds, maybe I'd look better in my bikini going to Hawaii. So for about a week, I lived on apples daily. That was it. And I lost the weight, got to Hawaii and enjoyed myself and ate normally, and came back home and I had gained back the weight. And it's the first time I think I noticed that the feel of clothes on my skin. And I'd never had that before. And then it was about a year later, and a friend that I know was eating and throwing up. So I thought maybe I'd try it. And I tried it, and I continued on with it, unfortunately. That was the beginning. That's where it started. Well, you have to be very creative, and you have to, you learn how to cover your tracks, so to speak, and there's some manipulation involved, and lying and deceit. And I was always a secret. Like I wouldn't eat a large amount of food in front of people, because then they would discover my secret. They would wonder why and how I could eat that much food. So I did it in my room. I would, go to the store and get my binge food and sit and just zone out and eat and eat. And then, of course, after that, you would feel guilty. So that's when the purging would come, and thus the cycle of bulimia.
It wasn't until we became engaged and got married that the real severity of her mental illness came to light, and that's when I became quite suspicious about how bad it was, even though she was telling me she was stopping or trying to stop. I even went to work one day and forgot something at home and turned back and got back to the house about 5 minutes later, and it also happened that the community water was off, and I walked in the front door and I caught her just kind of screaming downstairs, and I was like, well, that's weird, what's up? And at the same time also suspicious that something could be going on. So I followed her downstairs and asked her, what you doing? And she said she was doing the laundry. And I said, well, how is that possible? The water's off in the town. And she got kind of rattled and kind of quickly said a few things and ran back upstairs, and I knew something was up. So I don't know why to this day I did it, but I kind of just shuffled the clothes that were on the floor with my foot, and there, sitting there on the ground, was a Ziploc bag full of vomit. And I picked it up and put it in my hand, and it was still warm, so I knew it had just happened. And so I walked up the stairs with it, and she was standing in the kitchen and by the sink, and I walked up to her and I said, what is this? Or what the hell is this, to be honest? And she obviously, started crying, and it was kind of the rock bottom, I would say, of our relationship, because I just, dropped it in the sink, and I walked out the door back to work, and to be honest, I wasn't sure if I was coming back.
What really made me want to stop, and I'm getting a little emotional, when I met my husband-to-be, and I had to pick. It got to a point where I loved him, and I loved my disease. I loved being a bulimic, and I had to choose. And I'm so grateful that I chose him over my eating disorder.
She sought out some help. She attended Bridgepoint Center for Eating Disorders in Milton, Saskatchewan, 3 times actually. And there was a family and friends day there as well, where I attended for a couple days. And I learned a lot myself about there's a real tough balance between, is this a choice, is this a disease? It is a mental health disease. And the more I learned about why she was doing it, the better I could handle my own emotions and frustrations about it. She wasn't binging and purging to hurt me, even though I felt hurt. I felt frustrated. I felt betrayed and lied to. but that's not why she was doing it. She was doing it because it was probably the one thing in her life that she could control, food, or she felt she could control the food, but actually it was controlling her.
The message that I can send to women and even boys, girls and boys, is that please talk to somebody about it. And I think body image has become so profound in the last decade, and no one should have to feel like they're alone. Don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed, because that's what prevents you from getting help. And I'm here to say that there is hope and there is healing from these deadly diseases.
Like I said, her birthday was last night. In the past, I'd have to be careful about what I ate around her during those difficult years. Last night I went and had an all-you-can-eat buffet, and she said, "You're going to be hurting tomorrow," and sure enough I was. But it's gotten real good.